let's talk about follow through and how different finishes can really promote different deliveries. This is something that you can really take to the range, and doesn't matter what kind of patterns you've already got with your swing, so out to in to out, hit down too much, hit perfectly, hit up, whatever they are. If you experiment with these patterns of follow through, it will change your base, it will change your base delivery. It might not fix it, but it'll certainly give you a few more shapes possibly to work with on the golf course. So first tee shot, and we're going to go through some different stages of shots. We're going to start on the tee. I'm going to hit 2 tee shots. First one, I'm going to try and fade, aim up the left, and I'm going to hold off my follow through. So what that means, I'm going to try and hit the ball by feeling like the handle is holding off that face. It's ahead of that face for as long as I can to try and promote a face that's open to a path and curve the ball back to the right. Just watch my follow through. You can even see it in the recoil. Look at my recoil here. Again, I'm really holding that left hand ahead of that head. I'm holding it off throughout the whole swing to get that curvature. Now, if I'm going to hit a draw, I'm going to go the other way, start the ball out to the right, curve it back to the left. I'm now going to try and let the club go. Really let it overtake me. You're going to see a different follow through. You're going to see one where I feel almost like I'm spearing the target at the end as the club overtakes the handle. So again, look at the follow through. The club's come through much further ahead of those hands. I've just let that club go. No intentions of holding that off. 2 completely different shaped drives. So 7-iron, let's talk approach play. Same ideas. Quite an interesting situation here. So the ball is below my feet. So I'm now going to use these ideas of hold off and let go, changing my follow through in relationship to shot shapes and the slope as well, and how they work for me. So this ball's going to move left to right in the air. So if I hit this 7-iron, I'm going to aim left hand side of the green. I'm going to let the slope do its work, but at no point on this one would I feel like the club is going to overtake me like the drawing idea with the driver. The ball's below my feet. I don't want any of this happening, feeling like the heel's going to hit and more flipping. I'm just going to go with the slope and let that fade, let that cut happen. So this one is going to be that held off follow through. Again, look at my follow through. You can really see the left hand holding off, trying to let that slope do its thing. I'm not fighting it, I'm playing with it. Now I'm just going to flip round and go that way. So ball above my feet now, I'm either going to aim to the right and let go and let it double swing. So the slope's going to swing it and I'm going to swing with it. Or if I'm scared I'm going to overturn it, which is often the way if the slope's quite severe like this, then I'm going to use my hold off. I'm going to try and calm down what this slope is doing. So I could do 2 options more from this side. I can let it go, or I can feel like I'm holding off to calm down how much that turns. I'm going to try to hold off one again because I want it just to be a calmer amount of turn. So again, I've really reduced the amount of curvature on that ball. It's like moving 5 yards in the air, and that's a severe ball above my feet slope. And that's all happening by this feeling of holding off. Obviously, lots of other things are happening. There's many other moving parts in there. But remember what I said on the tee, bring your shot shapes. So if you overcut, overdraw, whatever you bring, try these different follow throughs. It will change the shape shot you produce, and then apply it to the situation. Let's get a bit closer and see how it works. Got 3 different lies. I'm about 100 yards out. So I've got a really nice kind of fluffy one, a divot ball, and one that's a bit more on a bare lie. Now I'm doing this with a 52 wedge. You could do this with a pitcher wedge, 6-iron, 9-iron. You can still apply these ideas very similar to the 7-iron, but we're going to throw an extra one in there. So the fluffy lie, the nice one, the one most people like, I've got both options here. I could hold off my wedge if I want to try and just keep it dead straight. I could try and hit a hard wedge. I would feel like I let it go and almost draw the wedge in. So as a general rule, the hold off will feel like it's got more loft. It'll go shorter, it'll be more of a feather. The one where I let the club go will feel like I'm taking a bit of loft off, so it'll get kind of top end of my number. So I'm going to have a good lie. I can use whichever option I want. So I'm going to go ball slightly back, handle forwards, aim down the right, and I'm just going to let this one go. So you can see the club's come right over my shoulders. I've let it go, no hold off. That ball's drawn into the middle of the green. Nice, just let that club go ahead of me. Almost drew it in there. So I've moved this one into my divot. This one, you're going to see a very different follow through. The emphasis on this is about going down, getting down to that ball because it's below me. So you're going to see a sawn off follow through, a held off, short, punchy follow through. Everything I'm doing in this shot is about this action, trying to feel like I'm going that way. So we're going to see this real punchy, short, held off follow through. Other situations where this can work really well, if I was going this way, so downhill lie, I might get that ball back and again hit this punchy short follow through, get everything going down. Think about it in the comments down below when the ball is on a downhill lie, so you're going downhill with it. Do you top it? Do you fat it? What do you do? Post in those comments down below. I see a lot of people in these situations when going downhill lies, hit the ground first and then bounce and top the ball, those kind of things, or just fat it. By having these ideas of this sawn off short follow through tends to move impact for a lot of golfers forward, so down and ahead of the ball, which is great when behind the ball the earth's in the way. So divot ball, again, I could do this with a 7-iron, 6-iron, ball back in my stance. I'm not going to let this one go. I'm going to hold this off as I hit this short stabby follow through to really punch it out. Everything was about trying to get down into that divot. So the follow through is dramatically changing the situation. Now the bear lie, the one lots of people don't like, but you'll find good players like this one. I feel like I can really spin the ball off this lie. There's nothing in the way. There's nothing going to get in my grooves. There's nothing going to stop me getting the full use of this face and ball contact to get a bit of stop. So I'm going to push that on. I'm not going to let this one go. I'm going to feel like I'm holding this one off. I'm adding that little bit of loft, trying to create a bit more spin, using the lie, try and get a real nice zippy stopping one. Again, look at the follow through, how the hands have led, held it off. That one I almost moved left to right in the air slightly, had no leftness to it. And I again just tried to hold that follow through off to manipulate my delivery in relationship to the lie, in relationship to what I see out that end as a result. Let's go inside and show you how these deliveries actually do change compared to what I'm feeling out here. Right, so I've got an 8-iron. I'm going to hit a few shots just trying to do my hold off finish, then we'll do a few shots just trying to let it go. We'll show you how different it looks and then how actually different it is down here for me. Hold off to kick us off. You're definitely going to see a little bit more of a curve back to the right, I would imagine, but we'll see. You might see a little less speed, but we'll see if that comes out. Okay, so there's 3 nice little held off 8-irons. I'll get on the line. Go on, go on. Oh, let's do 3 where I let it go at the bottom. I definitely feel like I can go a bit faster this way. I have no idea if I can or not, so I'll be interested to see. And also, I've said it before in other videos, some people feel quicker one way to the other. So it's almost like tennis, you have a side, a forehand and a backhand. So some people feel quicker and happier holding off. Some people feel quicker and happier letting it go. It's finding your pattern. Didn't quite let that one go enough, unfortunately. Definitely let that one and just drew it or pulled it a fraction. Before we look at the numbers, let's show you how different that looks on Swing Catalyst. Right, shot on the right here is my held off finish. So I'm just going to take you kind of to this area. Shot on the left here is my let it go, kind of my release shot. Now we see quite a big difference here. This is where we start to see a difference in the angle of the shaft, what I was talking about outside. You can see how the left hand's really trying to hold that off. We also see, I'm just going to draw a line down that club line at the top of my backswing. Let's bring this one back. Now watch how my follow through relates in relationship to where that was at the top of the backswing. So see how much more left of the line now on the fade, held off swing, where the let it go swing, I'm barely getting left of that line till much later. So very different ways of holding off, different shapes with my body, with my arms, with my hands to try and manipulate that face. Matt's coming in tomorrow, so I'm going to get him to look at these numbers. He's going to film a bit about what they mean for you. Let's go forward in time and see what he had to say.
Right, so let's look at the numbers. First of all, speed. I think Mark thought he might be quicker with the draw, but on average it's very similar, 0.1 of a mile an hour in it. Slightly less down with the release shot, so only 4.8 down compared to 6, which is quite interesting. Club path, out to in with his hold off. and with the release shot he's into out. So this might not happen for you where you're starting with your swings, but with Mark's skill, he's reacting to what probably is the face. So if we move on to face, his face is open with the hold off and closed with the release. So he's moving that path to try and find target with those different face to path numbers. So really interesting there. And lastly, closure rate. Closure rate is less with the hold off and more with the release shot, which is what we thought. So really interesting numbers, and as you can see there, Mark being skilled, being able to move that face to path and path to find target with those different finishes.
So let's get you practicing this at home or next time you're at the range. Remember, my numbers are going from quite basic, kind of zeroed out numbers, which is why you see the changes kind of falling into the patterns that you'd expect they do. But think about it, if you're someone who overfades, overcuts, why would you not try a few where you let the club go a bit more, feel like the finish is more speared? If that calms the cut down, it might not make a draw for you like it did for me, but if it calms the cut down, that's a swing thought you can use when there's trouble on the right. Vice versa, if you're someone who's overturning it to the left, playing more hold-off shots, driver, irons, wedges, might be the answer when you're scared the trouble's on the left, balls above your feet, those kind of things like we showed outside. Use this idea, change your follow-throughs to manipulate your delivery to fit into whatever patterns you've got down there, and you might find just an extra little bit of skill in there that will allow you to get around the course and lower those scores a little bit by controlling that ball in the situations it needs controlling. Let me know if this helps, comments down below. I'll be really keen to know. Something I used to do loads of students when I was teaching full time, and it had massive effects on their delivery.